that together. Oh, what up, family? What up, family? I know I'm back for part two. And this time I brought a special. I got a special guest. You know, I always be bringing them on. I always bring them through. This is brother Roberts, brother Naeem Roberts. He's the chairman of Black Lives Matter. Without further ado, let me bring the good brother on stage.
Good morning, my brother, and I love you immensely. I just want to say good morning, afternoon, and good evening to our listening audience, wherever you are in the time and space on this planet. We always want to extend a warm welcome and a smile to our listening audience. And following up with our listening audience, everything that we're engaging this morning in our time of truth and reflection, we want to just really not just be sipping tea. We want to be engaging in actual solutions. So often we get caught up in the illusion of inclusion and running around playing tag and not getting anything done. So I definitely want to thank my beautiful brother Mickey for allowing me this time and space. And like with everything that he mentioned, I really believe in getting the work done, saying less, and doing more. So, really, the topic of this conversation today may flow, but in a direction that's going to be based on facts, not hearsay or innuendos. We're going to be dealing with some truth. Starting off, some truth. Have any of you guys heard of Miss Perelman? Miss Perelman, along with Dr. Crook, Croak, Dr. Bryan, and Miss Ann Easley, these four black women, and you can go on YouTube or some other areas to actually find the truth out, but they was the forerunners of the internet as we know today. If it wasn't for these women, we would not be speaking on this platform right now doing this Zoom. Just like with the camera, with the pictures, or any kind of medium that we are engaged in dealing with the internet, these black women are the foundation. I always like to bring history. They are the foundation of what we are ingesting today, dealing with the internet platform. I want y'all to get this. I want y'all to look these women up because so often we get caught off guard dealing with meth. So I'm bringing some truth this morning. So please, please research and check out Miss Perelman, Perlman. She helped create the spanning tree. Dr. Crook, Croak, over 200 patents. And also, she is the mother of this technology we are using right now, dealing with Zoom, WhatsApp app, or any kind of conversation that takes place on this platform that we understand to be the internet. Also, we're dealing with Dr. Bryant. She's the forerunner of coding. She is the mother of coding, and Dr. Easley is the foundational developer of dealing with data and the cloud algorithm. Now, this and what we are relating this morning goes back a few thousand years in dealing with the ancient Kemetic people, because I always like to tell our community, our ancient Kemetic people or Kemet had the understanding of nuclear fusion. As opposed to creating a bomb to destroy humanity, they engaged in developing an amazing scientific footprint for mankind, dealing with surgery, eye and body surgery, dealing with theology, dealing with anything to have an understanding about construction, everything on the level of how to grow crop, how to engage in managing diseases. So what I'm saying is these were the forerunners of humanity. And all human beings on this planet actually come from groups of people that looks like me and Mickey. I know some of you guys have a hard time dealing with that. For the sake of our conversation today, I just wanted to share some basic history. And I'm a forerunner, and my background is a history major. And I do believe that when you bring facts to our conversation, I know a lot of time people want to debate in a lot of mess, like they fired Miss Karen Attire yesterday from the Washington Post for her reposting what Mr. Kirk actually said. And it goes to show you guys this is not new. It has been happening throughout the history of mankind. When you have a person or people in power, like they did, many of you guys are Christian and engaged with Jesus construct. So, they put so called in the writings in the Bible, they put uh, crucified Jesus for speaking the truth against power. And again, so they fired this sister yesterday for reposting what Charlie Kirk said, which is unacceptable. I'm showing you about what a group of people does in our community when you're thinking about either brainwashing or propaganda.
But
So,
let me chime in on that with
okay.
you though, brother.
Yes, sir.
I get that, but can you like kind of understand like at the height and certain stuff? Because you remember I was having a conversation with you with this prior about that. Not that situation, but I was like people coming out saying things
Mm-hmm.
like this is probably one of those moments like where sometimes you have to just be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, I don't agree with nothing. Because remember, I was telling you, I was like, I didn't understand Stephen A. Smith. I didn't understand Acho, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in times like this, when you like everything you about to say, when you know this, why would you get out here and think you can say something like this and then not expect nothing to happen? Is my question.
I do believe in the lie that, first of all, to even push back a little bit on you, Mick,
Okay.
I do understand that in you dealing with the art of war and you understanding what you're dealing with your enemy, there's times to be quiet. And I don't agree with this man having foot for the football game to stop and have a moment of silence for him. They didn't have a moment of silence for Sandra Bland, uh, for Eric Gardner, and the list go on and on about us that are put to death daily. They just found a young man. I don't know if you heard the
No,
story.
two,
Hung
two.
too,
One
and
in
so
Vicksburg and one in Cleveland, Mississippi, too.
they haven't lowered the flags for them. They haven't did anything to to uh, acknowledge their death. Now, I do believe in this that when you are speaking the truth, and why I brought up Jesus was put to death for speaking the truth, right, Mickey?
Hmm.
Do you agree with that?
No, that's what it was.
Now I do think that, tactically, what she did is just actually reposted what this man said. So what I'm saying is when you being hyper about your position, so you're saying to me, Mickey, that another group of people can say and do whatever they want to do, and we're supposed to go along with that? Or you saying that you need to strategize and be careful about it being a fresh wound, and you should keep your mouth shut so you can keep your job?
I would say with the second, not that. You already know it's fresh rooms, just like what Elijah was trying to tell Malcolm when he came out. At the end of the day, John F. Kennedy was beloved, was a beloved person. In the same time as this, then you just say it was two. Well, you saw it was one, but it was two brothers that was hung down in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
You had Vicksburg, if I'm not mistaken, and Cleveland
Right.
were hung.
Okay.
Then you forgot when I said, remember when Jack Johnson won
Yep.
the heavyweight?
Yep.
What happened? What happened to happen during that time?
Black people were killed.
Okay, what I'm saying is I don't agree with nothing that's being said, but you have to be when you elite, when you in these type of positions, you got to know how to move.
Okay.
I'm not saying you can't go out, you know what I'm saying? Because my problem with it was, and I say this again, why did 7 HBCUs have to close down? You forgot, remember I called you, was telling you about that? You know what I'm saying? When, you know, and they didn't have nothing to do with that. But I'm saying as leaders, you have to be careful on certain things when you know you at war.
Well, I agree with you on the strategy of Sansu, analyze, strategize, and attack. But she was a columnist. And what is the job of a columnist, Mickey?
No, it's but hold up, but she don't own it. See, that's what everything that you just said. Who own them places that these people work at?
The guy that on Amazon.
Okay, so what makes you think? Just say the guy that own. I don't know Jeff Bezos or nothing. Let me just be honest. I don't know them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know him. He might have liked, you know what I'm saying, the individual. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You know, he might have liked Charlie. Let me be honest. He might have liked him. So how you gonna come out and then you gonna go and you don't own this, right? Remember, you don't own this.
That's a good
NFL.
point.
Did we forget what happened with Colin
Colin
Kaepernick?
Kaepernick. I think this is the same thing.
Oh, but did we forget?
I think
So
many of us have.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how can you, when you already being sold, this can happen? And I think maybe for the people, you thought that this columnist, I mean
Columnist.
columnist, did she think she was bigger than the program? She can come out and say something that she wasn't, her job wasn't going to be on the line.
What I'm saying, the only pushback I have with you, Mickey, is just she reposted what he said.
Do you understand at the
height of the
what's
blood
going
in the
on?
water? Yeah.
Okay. If they already firing their own, what chance did she think she had?
Well, apparently none.
Okay.
Because she's fired. But I think moving forward, again, there's a bigger picture because as I love what you said about ownership.
Yeah.
And that's why this platform and many platforms that are doing the real work for solutions and not just regurgitating ignorance is so important because we need our own voice to be heard. We need to counter this attack that's happening in our community. When you have another community that's diametrically opposed to our existence, this is what's taking place on many different levels. And so what we are going for speech or for talking, there's difference between a columnist or having an opinion or hate speech, right?
Right.
And so again, the only thing that I push back with you, Mick, and like you just mentioned about Elijah and Malcolm, I think that was a good lesson in history to learn from. But just like you talk a lot about this lie or this illusion of this Project 25, this is nothing new. This has been happening from the day they took this country from people that were already here. Number one. Number two, the danger is you're dealing with so much evil that evil is being internalized and made normal. How do you justify saying that I have a liberal point of view and I'm the enemy and should be put to death, which is what certain segments of this community speak, just like I just said. They're not held accountable. January 6th, people killed, defecated in their buildings, and they all were let out of jail, Mickey. So my only pushback to you is, when will we stop playing this sickening game with these people that are diametrically opposed to our existence? Like you just said, have our own, engage in our own, and have our own power base. I think that's very important because they are showing us that we have no voice. And if you articulate or say anything against or trying to counter some of their madness, they have all the levers to almost erase you from the history of mankind. And I push back on that, Mick.
No, listen, brother, I'm not, and that's why some of these conversations, I get that, but I'm just looking at the situation. I'm not saying the things happen down in Mississippi got anything to do with it, but you see,
I can say it do.
I'm just saying me, I wouldn't, but I'm just saying, but let's just say it did. That's why you have to be careful when you saying that, because you can get your people knocked off for your rhetoric.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what all I'm saying. I'm not saying that but you have to be careful when you want to speak out. How you gonna speak out and you don't own the platforms, or you don't own the place where it's at? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. What all I'm saying is, I think she was foolish to do what she did. If she didn't, she don't think that newspaper had. Just think of some of the stories they put out.
Yeah.
Just think of some of the stories they put out.
Unacceptable story.
And now you thought, because this was you, and this what is crazy, and I agree with you, because I was having a conversation earlier about how you got conservatives and you got liberals. Even Malcolm said you got to watch out for the liberals.
Oh, most definitely.
See, my thing is, I don't want to get caught up into no
labels.
Yeah, and then I get caught up into beef that ain't got nothing to do with us.
So we can be clear about bigotry.
Yeah.
And again, so we can be clear, because don't want to have the conversation about anyone being a racist, because people have a misunderstanding about racism, because it's based on power and control.
Facts.
But prejudice and being a bigot,
right,
and being a hate monger,
right,
is what we're dealing with. And when you're dealing with hate, bigotry, separatism, and supremacy,
right,
again, this is what we're dealing with, and most people don't want to come to terms with it. You know what my position is.
For sure.
We should boycott and shut everything down.
For sure.
We need to do some self-check. We need a lobotomy or an enema, because we have gotten so caught up in the illusion of inclusion that, again, we're thinking that we're something that we're not, because we got a burqa bag. We're thinking that we're something that we suffering from this illusion because we're able to buy a Maybach. And again, just like you're saying about knocking off. Now, it's unacceptable for us to knock each other off, let alone allow somebody to knock us off. Because that's why I have an issue with Rittenhouse or Zimmerman, or anyone that have murdered and killed, like Sandra Bland, or anyone, are allowed to still be breathing. I believe all those people that inflicted pain and harm upon a person that looks like me and you has to be accountable, just like they were allowed to be let out of prison for killing, maiming, and destroying white property and white people. That's what happened January the 6th.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. That was, once again, like, but this is what I'm saying. To us, we looked at it like, if it had been us, we'd have been,
murdered.
Murdered. Let's just be honest.
Come on, justifiably.
Yeah. We understand. That's what I'm saying. But
justifiably.
Right. So when you understand this, you got to understand the type of individual that you're dealing with. So if you're dealing with these type of rules, why would you go out there blindly and go start something when you already seen? Like, we are, listen, let me tell you something.
Okay.
If they was really tripping about these organizations that's really here right now, what happened to the Black Panther Party?
Got destroyed.
Okay. Every time they built something, they felt it was this threat to what's going on, they destroy it.
Right. Like Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, let's just be, that's what all I'm saying. When you know this, and you playing the game, and you want to speak out, how you gonna speak out to the people that's paying you?
Yeah.
That's like disrespect.
I understand your point of view, but I'm next to James Baldwin.
Yeah.
I believe in Mark Vassar. I believe that in articulating Paul Robeson, when you are in the house and it's on fire, you can't be sitting around and thinking that the person that actually is enjoying the fire because they set the fire and they want it burning like it is, because that's their position of power. I do believe that you have to push back on power. I understand and I accept what you're saying. If you are in an environment and you know what that environment is, and you want to make sure you save your neck, then you have to play the game. I do believe in this, Mickey, that you have to fight power with power.
Facts.
You cannot be capitulating and thinking that you can get along with someone that's diametrically opposed to your existence. It's the same thing that we're dealing with locally in Flint, Michigan. You have the power brokers and the stakeholders that have no regards or responsibility for the poor or the residents. This is what we're dealing from based on the leadership in Flint, Michigan, and Michigan.
I'm listening.
This is what we're dealing with because our community have been so destroyed. Even if you look at the so-called minister, the theology or the ministers in this community, you made an important point. You said if there's an entity from the Deacons of Defense to Urban League, to NWC, or any organization or self-proclaimed organization that is really trying to do something with capitalism and white supremacy, it get mashed, it get destroyed. And this is what constantly happens because we as a community collectively don't build our power base to fight against another power base. Because when you can collectively have your own, when you have your own resources, your own endowment, your own, all those things, then you are able to fight in a manner where it's almost both entities will burn each other out because it's equal power. And that's what we're dealing with, in my opinion, where there's unequal power. Because when you think about 3 or 4 generations in our community that has no roots, meaning they are behaving like a tree without roots, meaning a tree without roots is dead. The way we are treating one another in our own community, before we can even talk about somebody else's community, why are we continuing to punish and murder one another? See, those are things that we need to have self check on. And if the churches and the ministers in this community was being effective or had any kind of power, they too would be crushed. You follow me?
No, that's the point I was trying to make. Cause that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying with her. Cause the people that you just said, what happened to Paul Robeson? Did he get blackballed?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
sir. He had to
See,
leave the country. He left the country.
okay. And how did they do James Baldwin?
Oh, totally unacceptable.
But that's what I'm saying. So you can't tell, you can't show me. The proof is in the pudding, man. That's the only thing I'm saying, brother. The proof is in the pudding. If you gonna do the work, that you don't make no money doing this work. So when I
No.
be seeing all these so-called activists doing this and that, when I see you doing this and I see they not after you, they not on you, I know you playing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know the proof is in the pudding. If you really doing the work, you know who you coming up against.
All right.
And then
right.
if you get money from these people, how you not expect? That's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking the sister on what she's, I feel bad for her. She lost her job. But my thing is this: why didn't you go create your own platform? It's so easy now to go create something. But what we get caught up in, we used to getting this money, we get accustomed to a lifestyle.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? She thought she could speak out. Maybe she spoke out on some black things. I never heard of her like that. Really talking out on some big social issues going on.
Oh, she has. She has.
Well,
Oh, yeah, she has.
What's her
Yes,
name
sir.
again?
Her name is Karen Ataya. Attiaa.
I have to check her out.
Attiaa. Oh, yeah, she's prolific.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to
She's
check her
prolific,
out.
man.
Yeah, because I'm just saying that she's not one of the ones. Maybe they keep her pushed down. I'm just saying out there in the mainstream.
Actually, she's the last one at the Washington Post. Everyone else has been fired over the years.
But look what the Washington Post been, first of all.
Unacceptable. Yes, sir.
But that's what I'm saying. I get it, but what she thought she could get out. Only thing I'm saying, if you see they going after their own, see, I look at some. When I saw James Wood made a comment, and a lot of people, the actor,
yeah,
he made a comment, and he was taking it at liberal, took a shot at the liberals.
Yeah,
ready to say we will come to get you, like we ready to tear this thing up.
Yeah,
that's what that's the point that I'm making. If they telling you how they really want, why would I'm gonna get in the way of what they got going on with the liberals?
I'm understanding that point, but
you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, but
it's dangerous when you say that, because the conflation is, people can identify themselves whatever they want.
You can,
like a tree or a log. But my point is, if we're talking about humanity, man, about how we supposed to live in love and safe and not being hunted, our experience in this country has been totally unacceptable, man. And you got other people that are playing games when they throw out liberal, progressive. That's a game.
In facts, it's because it's titles, but this the society we living in where you gonna have titles because they letting you know what side they agree with. You know what it's just a definition of just telling you, okay, I have a more of a liberal base on how they feel, yeah,
Socialism.
socialism, and then you got the conservative. You know what I'm saying? But my point is the fact that I'm saying is like even with the say Republicans and Democrats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now where the black man is at. We got Republicans telling us, you heard the president one time, why not pick us? What do you got to lose?
Lord have mercy.
But hold up. Has the Democrats not been doing nothing?
Very little.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. When you getting down to that, like Miss Gladys always say, right wing, left wing. She call it a uniparty.
Still, YouTube is a bird.
Bird. It's the same bird. That's what I'm saying.
And then, man, what I'm saying is collectively remove the party labeling and saying, how do we double down with ownership? How do we double down with us making sure that we are insulating ourselves from this insanity? Because again, we have allowed ourselves for 500 years to be brainwashed and don't own or produce anything. And that's my biggest pushback as far as our position should be owning, and the power, the little power that we do have, we should be solidifying that and working more together, meaning shutting down the whole football lie or the basketball lie. All of these businesses and things that exploit us, we need to shut them down. That's my position personally.
No, I feel you with
Because I
that.
believe that all them athletes are cowards. I believe that how do you allow someone to have a moment of silence and you go play a game and your body could be destroyed at any minute and you be left homeless? Because again, those people those billionaires that own those specific teams, 32 of them, care less about the Negroes that play for them at all. But we continue to salivate over the crumbs that they give us. I wanna break in right now and do a little PSA, public service announcement. We're working on September the 27th.
Please don't tell me it's went from an organization I don't like.
Oh no, this is a community conversation. We are
Okay.
having a community conversation 1-on-1. Let's hear your voice. Yeah, let's hear your voices. September the 27th, 1 to 3, 2712 North Saginaw Street, Oak Business Center. We are asking the community to come out and be a part of a conversation. We know what happens a lot of times at city council where you get 3 minutes, but this time we want to have the whole community come out. Let's have some conversations around maybe 3 points that we all can collectively say that the following week or two we will come back and actually have some points where we're going to solve a few little problems. Let's say what it looks like a little problem. Let's say, and I know this is, I'm not just being facetious, but let's say if we say at the end of this meeting, this conversation, we say everybody make sure they go out and hug or love or ask your family member that you may have fallen out with. Ask for forgiveness and see how you can repair a relationship with your father, with your mother, with your sister, brother, or cousin. How do we start healing our community from within? What do we do with one another? We all individually have assets. So, how do I take my asset and how do I take and ask Mickey for his asset? Meaning, Mickey has his own personal asset. So, the biggest asset that we all have is our time. Like yesterday, we were at Eagles Nest and Brownell School greeting the students. And you would be amazed at how these children are smiling and even the parents and even dads were dropping their children off and the teachers were so impressed. Some of the teachers came out and they wanted to walk on the purple carpet. We don't use red carpet because red represents blood, like at an Academy Award. That's representation of blood when you use the red carpet. We use purple carpet. I learned that in Africa, which is purple is royalty. And so many of the teachers came out and wanted to walk on the purple carpet. But my point I'm making is on this conversation that we are having in our community, so often our community talking at each other. We just want to have a real honest conversation amongst the community And I'm hoping that the community really will come out. We're going to have light refreshments, but the goal is to have a conversation around some solutions as far as how we can engage in a community where we are loving one another and really doing some simple things to help support and repair one another. So again, that's Community Conversation 101. Let's hear your voices. September the 27th, 1 to 3, 2712 North Saginaw Oak Business Center. Please come. If you want to have any more information, you can contact me. I'm Brother Naeem Roberts, 810-394-4105, or my email address is mentorroberts@gmail.com. Please consider to be a part of the community. And so often when we think about community and what communities look like, as we just talk about, nationally, the real power starts at home. Before we can talk about somewhere else or another planet, how do we work on repairing the brokenness in our community? How do I have a conversation with Mick or other people? And we may not agree on everything, but how do we look at one another and love on each other and then work for some solutions? And that's what we should be about in our community. So moving forward.
Are you done with your PSA now?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna send you an invoice.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you
so when we think about as we were talking about, and let's deal with facts.
Come on with it.
I do believe that we are in a perilous time, and my biggest pushback when you have other elements that are allowing the National Guard. Do any of us know? And you can look this up, guys. And a lot of times, statistics and numbers are lying based on who, like the Heritage Foundation. If you go on the Heritage Foundation, and they have a lot of research stuff, and a lot of their research is some garbage because it's based on a premise that is geared toward marginalizing communities. Now that's intentional. And why I'm bringing that up, guys, is when you think about what is the answer for what's happening today, Mick? What do you think when you think about how things are moving, even in Flint?
Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
like I told you again, I feel we all the way off the pivot. I had these conversations with you off record all the time. I feel like where we at, we got a coonish clan that then took over. Like more of the we sick boss type of element that then took over. We can't even agree. Look, all these organizations we got here, how many blacks we see elder blacks get pulled out cars?
Yes, sir.
We done seen people get treated down at council.
Yes, sir.
Listen, we know, and I'm just being honest. You know this, and I know this. Some of these same people get funded by the same people that's controlling this city.
Yes, sir. I mean, think about it. How do you allow Flint Police to get funded, but not the North End Food Market?
You know why?
I mean, when you think about how do 9 black people get murdered at Emmanuel Church, and the flags are not flown at half mast. They didn't get a time of reflection, start no football game. How about the redistricting in Dallas, Texas, and around? When you think about power, when you think about not respecting the Constitution, the laws, policies, and procedures in this country have no bearings on people that look like me and you.
Well, hell, if
we don't get any grace. We are not treated as even citizens
facts
of this country.
But check this out.
Okay.
Check this out right here.
Let me check it out.
What about the redistricting that just happened here in the city of Flint?
Unacceptable.
We ain't got to go to Texas and look. What
Yes,
about
sir.
the redistricting here? What about this being a predominantly black city? Is the water fixed?
No, sir.
You got a majority black council. Do any of that money go north of the Flint River?
No, sir.
A majority black council. And you just ask why the North End Flint, I mean, you talk about the market?
No, on Cloud Road.
Oh yeah, I can tell you that's the money pit. What you mean, brother Roberts? Let me tell you, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
And I did say this. I was against Flynn getting that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was against Flynn, against it. At one time, I was for it, and I was for it when I was over there recording with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Let me be honest. I was for it. Then I got against it, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna tell you why I went against it. See, I was in the room when Flynn was on the phone. AC Dumas was probably wrong for letting me hear this conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Reason I'm done because it's not black owned. First of all, brother
Mm-hmm.
Roberts, the North
Mm-hmm.
Flint market. How much money did the Mock give to it?
A 1.5.
More than that. But everybody like you want people get up on here, Mock doing this and that. But the North Flint market gonna take the money though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first of all, let's stop saying that was money. The man don't even stay here no more.
Right.
Flynn don't.
Mm-hmm.
So you really care about the city? 10 years of getting money, why it's not open? $7 million it got from my, and it's not open.
7 million.
7 million is not open.
Unacceptable.
Along with the money that it took from the people that gave in 250.
Now we'll stop right there. Do you know Myers on Jefferson in Detroit partnered with the local community down there? They have a mini Meyer community market right there on Jefferson, maybe 2 or 3 blocks from Mount Elliott, and it is community based on Myers. Is part of the flagship, and it's an amazing experience when you go down there. And that's the model that should have been used here in Flint, Michigan.
But see, that ain't what the model that was used here in Flint, Michigan. That's what I'm saying. I hear these people saying, he been saying, look, he coming back for more money, more money, more money. It's not if it's gonna open. When you think it's gonna open?
I have no clue.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, only reason I was with, you know what I'm saying, because they've been getting everybody money. But no, that's another. They done gave it so much money. How much more money do he got? He's not even in the community.
I have to agree with you there.
Like,
and
he's not in the community.
Look, and I have to say, my only pushback is I don't believe that resources should be going to law enforcement, because the number one business in America is the exploitation and the misery of Black people. This is what the foundation of this country has always been about. When you think about policing, when you think about laws, policy, and procedures, we are affected the most.
No,
We
but
are hurt the most. Now, let me make this point.
go ahead.
And so when you think about, and we gotta, you have to call it out, because I didn't know what you just told me about $7 million. I don't think it should have took that much money to open up anything, to be honest with you. And I do believe that the North Side is being demonized because we have poor leadership. There should be a food market on the North Side that's Black owned. There should be gas stations. There should be multiple businesses in the North Side that are Black owned, that is building legacy, Mickey, just like in Otisville, just like in Flushing, Davison, even when you think about out there in Grand Blanc, uh, you know, you have Al Sarah that has been, again, how many years they have been here. When you think about how many other communities live all of their lives and their children and children's lives off the backs of Black and brown people. That has to stop, Mickey. Do you agree with that?
But let's say this.
Okay.
How many when Blacks get their money want to open them up? See, the North Side is being like that, but you got Black people on that council seat. You got your first ward councilman.
But wait, wait.
Come on
I
with
think
it.
you're making a big mistake.
No, you won't let me get it out.
But just because they're your skin don't mean they have
no, you let me get it out what I'm finna tell you. No. We have people that be cool with these people, even with this mayor, even with the mayor. Blacks. Be cool with it. You can pull any administration. Just like I said, I don't care who you gonna put in the affairs that who run this thing, their affairs gonna get handled.
Yes, sir.
So I understand that. But what I'm saying is, when you getting people like you say, your first ward council person, your second ward council person, your third ward council person, all them Black right there.
Yes, sir.
All three of them Black.
Yes, sir.
You mean to tell me, and allegedly they all grew up on the North Side, they can't see what's going on? But when your people can be bought, but yet then we'll still have people in the community can see they full of mess, but guess what they'll do? Because they might get some money. Because what I thought you was talking about, thought you was talking about when how they were shutting down. What's my man, the pastor, the dude St. Mark's.
Okay.
How
Right.
how you seen Liddell was against that, him getting that money,
Yes, sir.
and then all the willing and dealing they had to do, where they had to get the money to the food bank.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. When you get blacks get in there doing that, this is why I said it's more we got of a the house Negro
Oh, yes.
that's in these seats that's
Yes.
running this stuff
Okay.
right
Now I
here.
agree with you
Now
100%.
that's what I'm saying.
We on the same
Yeah,
page.
even
Yes.
far as our activists and stuff, man, you cannot be telling me how you gonna get funded from the people that you supposed to be going against.
It'll never happen.
When Flynn came in, was he not pro-black?
Yes, sir.
What happened?
I mean, the same thing with the NAACP or the Urban League. I mean, you think about, let me make a point.
Go ahead.
Do you remember at one time, corporations from General Motors to you can name it was funding the NAACP and Urban League, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they started taking their money out, right?
Yeah.
And what did the NAACP and Urban League do?
What you thought they was going to do?
Almost non-existent, right?
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to our fault for not supporting that arm of activism, or if you want to say some form of justice, Mickey.
But who started these organizations? Who started the NAACP?
White boy.
Okay. Who started the Black Lives Matter thing?
Oh, that was some women.
Okay. So
3 women.
Okay.
Black women. Yeah.
And so we already know, but who was giving it funding? See, when the
funding was coming in from a lot of overseas and a lot of white businesses because of what happened, the atrocity.
But the funding. So, but when these people, when you getting funding, who you think when they pay you? If I can give you money, I give you money. You might be doing this, and then when I want to reel you in, because like you say, these businesses that was doing business, don't you think they doing business with people over here too?
Yes, sir. They doing both. That's what Sam say.
Oh,
you got to fund both the warriors and the ones that's being attacked and the attacker.
That's what I'm saying. So when you seeing this stuff being funded, and when you see we got, why you think podcasts able to pop off now more than, remember at one time people was getting their news from the news.
Yes, sir.
You know what the news put out there, ones who didn't understand it, they believe what they said.
Right.
With these stories.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm saying, like, you have to be like, if you not listen, man, you know this don't pay you no money, man.
No, right.
This don't pay no money. Go look at the people, man. You have to be funded through the people.
I mean, like Joe Rogan or Howard Stern, on those levels, when you think about that level of podcasting,
yeah,
and or like that boy, that European Pat, what's that boy, the kicker that's got that sports show, McAfee.
Pat McAfee,
$100 million. I mean, but he, and a lot of times, and a lot of that is just garbage, So when you think about how back in the day we had the grapevine, Mickey. Back in the day, Mickey, you are old enough to know that throughout the 40s and the 50s, as far as our music was teaching and giving us direction, our behavior in our community was helping to heal us. And so we had bought so much in the lie of this illusion, is why we're so broken in our community. Because if we turned everything around and was supporting one another financially, we could have our own institutions that would be insulated and would be able to go after us being mistreated by this system, Mickey.
No, I get it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm living it here with you. I see it. But I just feel like on some things, don't get me wrong, just from my mistakes that I made, I know you don't supposed to go run out there. Our people not ready, Brother Roberts, man. Just because we might get out there and want to throw the first stone, you will send your people to a slaughterhouse.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mickey. And
you know what I'm saying?
And that's why, so one of the solution is, Mickey, how isn't it our responsibility on whatever level we possibly can is to bring our community together? Now I'm excluding, because again, when you show me who you really are, I'm talking about a minister.
No, I agree.
I'm talking about a banker. I'm
I
talking
agree
about
with you.
a plumber.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a carpenter. Right now, Mickey, there are 11 construction jobs going around in Flint, Michigan, not
Right.
Genesee County,
Right.
Flint.
Right.
On one hand, you can count the number of black people on those job sites, Mickey.
Right.
Now, why, when you think about, Mickey, how atrocious that is, and there's nobody talking about it, Mickey.
But
That's
but
Mickey. You don't think that's unacceptable?
but who is giving out the contracts? Is it the mayor?
Yes.
So yeah, that tell you right
Yes,
there.
he's giving out the
So,
contracts
so
along with city
but
council.
see, but this the problem. People forgot they supported this mayor. Just like right now, I'm not gonna lie. For all of them who supported this mayor, just like I don't get me wrong, I see the good brother Mark Hutchinson up in here. When he say for the people that supported the first ward council person, that's what you get. This is what happened when you go support somebody. Then, then he doing all this stuff. People coming back, like you just said. All these construction companies that's in here, all these company ain't none black on. Who fault is that?
That's our fault because, like you just said about our elderly people getting mistreated for over a protest, and you have Mr. Green can continue to have a job is unacceptable. And back to what my position is,
Yeah.
we should be boycotting this whole community. There's no commerce that should be taking place anywhere downtown, anywhere on Linden Road or Miller Road. When you think about the mistreatment that we daily receive in this community, this is unacceptable, Mickey. And again, you have to have activists or people that's going to speak out, just like you mentioned. You saying, if you are in the belly of the beast, am I just going to allow myself to just be ate up by the beast?
Right.
Or I'm going to do my best to get out of his belly? And again, we can't do it by ourselves.
Right.
And if we articulate it in a way, but in a way that's going to be, how do we excite this community? Because this community has been so beat up, Mickey. They took intentionally General Motors out of this community.
Facts.
No other community was treated like this community was treated, even in Detroit. You know Detroit. Ford, Chrysler, all of them still have a foundation in Detroit. They did not totally leave, even when they went to outsourcing, all that dumb stuff.
Right, NAFTA.
All that NAFTA with Bill Clinton, all that was a lie, Mickey, because there's no free trade nowhere on the planet. That was a bold-faced lie, and what they intentionally wanted to destroy was the union and the middle class. Yeah. That's what was that what was up, and that was part of the process back in this when they took this country of people that was already here. Capitalism produces. Listen, capitalism produces poverty, anxiety, insanity, because it exploit the weak and the vulnerable. They don't want no union. They don't want people unionizing and collectively bargaining, making sure that they are not being poisoned and killed by the people that they work for or the water that they drink. All that has been intentionally done, and we continue to buy from communities that hate us. When we go to these liquor stores and gas stations, when we conversing with these people, many of them hate our guts because historically, when you think about the Arab community and what they did in Sahara on the early part, before it was the Atlantic slave trade, there was the Sahara slave trade. And that was intentional when you think about that region of the world, man. And that's why when people don't know history or don't care to read, we are repeating many of the same things we have been warned about. Even when you think about the Torah, the Injil, the Bible, and any of these holy books, those things were compiled and put together to give us warnings about how do you treat one another. Thou shalt not kill. Proverbs 22:6. Train up a person, train up your community in the way it would go. And those are the basic principle about humanity and how we should treat one another. But when you cut it and you put the 3-card Molly on it with power, absolute power and control, this is what we have today. And we must push back on it and fight back, Mickey, because The answer is if we do nothing, Mickey, if we do nothing, Mickey,
I'm listening.
what is the purpose of our existence?
But
Why were we created by God, Mickey? If you even believe in God.
but if you call the foolish people,
Mm-hmm.
what do you expect? Unless a warner come and
Oh,
tell you and wake you up.
wow.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? Like
powerful.
like we forgetting, like we acting like we not
Mm.
a foolish people. Cause this is what you just said. You talked about the Arab slave trade, right?
Yes, sir.
What religion do you? I mean, what do you when you become? What do you go pray with when you become a Muslim? Where you at if you ain't dealing with the NOI?
Oh, Sunni or the Shiite.
Oh, so who the predominantly in that?
Chaldeans or in
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay,
most definitely.
okay. So, but I'm just saying, you see how we can be, you know what I'm saying?
Manipulated?
Yeah.
Yes,
But do
sir.
you see what stores you go to buy the liquor at?
All the Arabs.
All and right, and you Muslim, right?
Yes, sir.
So as we go, you know what
And
I'm
then they
saying?
don't even drink it. Now you think about that.
Pig selling the pig, and I'm just
And
saying,
they don't even eat it.
but see what they,
Foolish people.
but us.
Exploitation.
Yeah,
Us.
but all of them do it. You got to think everybody come. We let everybody come in our neighborhood, but everybody don't let us into their
At
neighborhood.
all, Mickey. At
You
all.
know what I'm
And that's
saying?
our fault.
Yeah,
See, everything we talking about is our personal
yeah,
responsibility before we can talk about anybody, Kirk, or any other
yeah,
person. We need to have a real enema or a real conversation between us, Mickey,
yeah,
because our biggest problem is wanting to be or caught up in the illusion, number one. Because again, when you think about driving this or living there or eating that or doing this is all temporary, and it don't have anything where our children are reading at a higher rate,
yeah.
where our loved ones, where our children are safe,
But
where we have real decent housing, Mickey.
right,
I'm talking about just decent housing, Mickey. About Mickey, we don't have no teen club, Mickey. When me and you was growing up, don't you remember teen club? Don't you remember skating, Mickey?
but who fault is that again?
That's our fault.
But
No,
that's
everything is our
yeah,
fault.
that's what I'm saying. Cause we let people look like me and you.
Me and you.
We go back and what we do. We get in these places and forget. You got a superintendent. Y'all this Flint school's passing kids reading at a third grade level.
Unacceptable. Yes, sir.
There's nowhere in the world that he should be having the superintendent job. There's nowhere in the world the people that's on that school board still supposed to be in control as they is. And they saying they doing to me, and I say it again, it just look like the people that's on the school board getting free vacations. Getting free vacation and selling out the kids. Cause ain't nowhere in the world you can tell me they letting kids. And then look at and some of the conditions that these schools was in, and they had them kids in there.
Unacceptable, Mickey.
So
Terrible.
you mean to tell me all this stuff? I watched how they set up there. People talk about city council how cutthroat it was. People forget the school board was just as cutthroat. When these ladies got on here.
Yes, sir. And I have to agree with you. And you mimic that again around the country because there has always been effort and not abashed about it, not ashamed about it. Because you think about, the Puritans in 1625, the Puritans in 1625 were the forerunners of public education. Before that, Mickey, education or any kind of apprenticeship was based on your family name or your relationship to any form of power, right?
Yeah.
If you go back in time, I'm just using a time capsule here so we can understand in this country because this country was taken from people that was already here. We must establish that foundation that this country was stolen from people that was already here, and those people were castrated, killed, genocide, poison. Even when you think about germ warfare started in this country, Mickey, with the smallpox was intentionally put.
Yeah, that was German war. I mean,
germ warfare.
Yeah, germ warfare.
And so my point I'm making, Mickey, is when you think about this whole concept of education, why would I uneducate you honestly for you to take my power, right? I'm not gonna do it, Mickey.
Wasn't at the time you couldn't read?
Yeah, if you got caught, you get put to death, right?
So why would you want to keep a people uneducated? It was for a reason.
It's like it is today.
Yeah, and you brought the book. I mean, you had that. How many lynchings? How many Did they not lynchings? Damn it! When we was talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they destroyed, burnt down the cities.
Yes, sir.
That the black. I remember you when I first met you. You was explaining that to me.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
had
sir.
the paper. All of that going on from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Rosewood,
Rosewood. Yeah,
Mississippi to
yeah.
Bronzeville,
Bronzeville,
Chicago.
Colfax.
Yeah,
Yeah, yes,
all
sir.
all
All of
that was
those were
going on.
black communities that was insulated, like you just said.
Yeah,
Insulated, but the other people were so jealous that they literally came through, killed, steal, and destroyed the whole community of black and brown people that were minding their own business. So to me, when you think about the DNA or psychologically, why would another group of people hate another group of people so intensely that they want to drop a bomb on them, Mickey, where they were minding their own business? See, that's something at another level, Mickey. When you think about why would they want to disrespect and dismember Shador Sanders or Colin Kaepernick? That mentality, when you look at the history and they just had some lives on television, I didn't personally watch it because I'm against sports, but I was told about this Jerry Jones documentary, and they did mention any about his participation in that young lady being mistreated. And Ruby, she's still alive today. She's 71 years old. That he and his boys were heckling about her trying to integrate because he's from Arkansas, right?
yeah, yeah,
They don't
yeah.
want to. Stephen A. Smith love his dirty draws, right?
Right.
He loves Jerry Jones, and Jerry Jones is a bigot, is an evil,
Did you
evil,
just see how he
evil.
did? How he just did Michael Parsons, even though he traded him to Green
Boy,
Bay.
you do what I say.
Yeah, and some of the stuff, yeah, they know this, but he is what you call a billionaire. Do people forget Donald Sterling,
I'm telling you,
the
Mickey,
Clippers? But he spoke truth.
he spoke truth
But see
now.
now, even though he spoke some truth on what he said, but he was dead wrong. But what he was saying was the truth when he said, "I feed them, I clothe them."
Come on, brother.
You
And
know
if
what I'm
if
saying?
if I want them to bend over and spread them so I can do that, that's what. And again, many of those people have that ilk because when you think about it, Mickey, when you have just when you think about power and you got absolute power, you become a pervert. I mean, your sense of reality becomes so twisted because it's the same thing that happened in Greece. When you think about ancient Greece,
You got to
ancient
watch the don't
ancient Greece was destroyed from within
facts.
because they became so omnipotent they thought they were gods, Mickey.
Yeah, but people do that. You got to understand, brother Roberts. Just
Mhm.
look what he said. I feed them, I clothe them.
Yes.
He don't have the only mind state like that. He wasn't the only one of them owners that did that. Well, he got caught because that girl. And then you got to go back to that. Why would she record him when he was paying her the way he was giving her money, $2 million a year salary?
Yes, yes.
Now I'm just saying now when they wanted, then and they rewarded him, even though they gave him some billions to go away.
Yes.
But do you understand that he was telling people forget about what the Atlanta Hawks?
Yeah, yeah.
How they did Lou Aldine.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But see, they knew how to push that up under the rug.
Yes.
See, when they can control the media, because at the end of the day, why you think they say the athletes shut up and dribble?
Come
Why
on.
you think when if one of my players kneel down on that, because
he gonna be fired.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. When they telling you, how many more times they showing you?
And my only pushback with that is we have to take it into our own hands by saying enough is enough and not keep dancing. See, we need to say, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to participate. And see, collectively, that has to be done because the number one business, one of the number one business in this country is American football. It's $1 trillion business.
But brother,
and many people eat off that.
And that's what they looking at. They looking at, man, do you know some of these athletes? Why you think they go to the impoverished neighborhoods when they was getting these players? It wasn't by choice they was going down there in the ghetto.
They know the players were desperate.
We look at Dexter Manley, couldn't read or write. And they pushed him through high school, through college, to the NFL.
Most people in the shop when the immigrants came in couldn't read or write. More, even doing the history in the early part of this country, man, most of those people could not read and write in their own land and was given opportunities, Mickey. You know, when you think about the how insidious this thing that we live in, calling this country, whatever you call this country,
Right.
but again, how it's been designed and created for those to have and the others to have not.
Yeah.
And again, my only
Yeah.
my activism,
Yeah.
because again, I am an activist,
Facts.
and I do believe in, I'm doing just like yesterday. A young man, he's not young, he's 82 years old, but Mr. Altman's uh wife died yesterday morning, and he still came and greeted the student. Do you know what that means, Mickey? That's a person that's committed.
Yeah.
I
Commitment.
go around speaking to the community, trying to get other entities, from the colleges to seniors, to these people that want to dance and all that kind of stuff, to just spend 20 minutes of your time to come and say hello, and give a voice and a kind word to a child, to lift a child up, because many times our church children never hear, I'm proud of you, I love you. Just something simple that you do with your children on a daily basis, Mickey. Many of our children never hear that.
But
Never hear, never feel that they are valued, Mickey.
but it's the broken community. But what that is, but it's there by design. That's what I'm saying. Do you understand? Like you said, how you doing this? You and a couple people, 82-year. You would think every group in the city of Flint, every organization, Black Lives Matter, NAACP, NAN, all activists would be right at the middle. I mean, right at the elementary school, because that's where you catch a kid at. Because damn near when they get to middle school, really fifth, sixth grade, you lost them
Well, we
if you
there.
ain't got them on the right track.
We talking that we greeting them too, but
Yeah, I'm just saying, but that's where you got to catch them.
you're right.
But
No.
when you ain't got all these people being active, man, if you go look at any other community, we can use the air. Do you understand? Even though they kids go to go to the American school, do you know they still bring them back and they still they teaching them their culture?
On Saturday and Sunday, yes, sir.
Okay, so what was wrong with us doing that for ours?
Yes.
See, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Yeah, we act like because we think we didn't became. Man, listen, just go back to when you was a kid. Even when I was a kid, you had things. You had professors out here that was talking to some people say that mumbo jumbo. You can't even look. Just look over the land right now, and you tell me who can really come and gravitate and get and get the people motivated. And then you got to look at let's don't stop. Let's don't forget, in our communities you got the haters.
Oh, big time.
That's coming automatically.
Automatic, man.
Then let's don't forget we got the ones that's gonna report back to boss.
Come on.
You got the ones who got to report back to boss.
Just like when we tried to have Freedom School, I mean, with Mother E. Hill Deloney. And you mentioned a good point. And one of the things that Black Lives Matter Grassroots Flint that we really work to do is we have these things called pop-ups. And one of our goals is, like, we was on Pulaski Street, and we say, most of the people at that time didn't even know their neighbors. And we made an effort to actually go out there, talk to the people where they met each neighbor on that whole block. And then we asked one of the neighbors, one of the people on the block, if they would be willing to start a reading program. We would help assist with the children that was having difficulty reading. And see, that's the model that you use, where you start, like when we were doing before and after slavery, where we were sitting around a a potbelly stove, 12 of us, wintertime, but we are all practicing reading, right? Didn't have nothing. Actually, everybody was on a diet.
But the difference was, though, Brother Robert, we ain't had these sellouts. See, we
No,
gotta
sir,
be,
you're right.
we gotta be honest. A lot of we got a bunch of these sellouts in all these organizations.
We
People
do.
don't want to admit it, but you got these sellouts in these organizations. Let's be cool. Let's be honest.
And many times the language is gatekeepers.
Yeah,
we got
facts.
the
Gatekeepers in all the organizations in this thing.
I see it
Yeah.
in some of my walks. I see it daily, and I deal with people that are actually gatekeepers.
Yeah.
And it is painful. But one of the things that fire me up, and why I'm proud of you, and some of the dialogues you have on your platform, I really respect you for, because I do believe that even with a podcast or the bump, that we need to bump for a purpose. A lot of time when we dealing with the T or we just spreading things that are not solving things. And just like with those gatekeepers, or those, when you really want to think about it, Sambos,
Mm-hmm.
Sambos have to be dealt with.
Yeah.
And we have to be smarter about our tactics, because one thing, I was at an event and some of the people you just mentioned were there, and I work to not engage in people that I know that are diametrically opposed to our community, that look like me and you, because there's no dialogue for us to have,
Yeah.
because there's no benefit in it, Mickey.
But there's the thing. But people we may be cool with them people.
Oh, most
Yeah,
definitely.
see, that's
Oh
the yeah,
yeah.
but see, that's the problem. When you got them people to be cool with the people that's going against it, like don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people that was cool with the deal that I know. I know a lot of
Mm.
people who like Leon that I know. But
Mm-hmm.
see, with
Mm-hmm.
me, I just sit back and look at it like I know y'all can't say, even with I know people know Candy, y'all can't say they doing the work. I
No.
know people who know this mayor, know the
Yes.
state rep. I'm
Yeah.
sitting up here like I know y'all, even though T Green grew up with him. I mean, I know people who have. Y'all
Yeah.
can't say y'all doing the work.
That's right.
You know what I'm
And see,
saying?
that's much more wicked than
Yeah.
anything, that you're in a position of leadership, and Mickey, these people know. They know they selling their community out, Mickey. They know it, Mickey.
And that's the point that I'm making. Like how we can have these get-togethers, and then you letting the people that's gonna go back and report on us, they sitting in the meetings too.
Unacceptable.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
unacceptable to me.
No, I can't. That's why I'm like, you got to sit back and you got to look. Then you got some of the old guard who don't want to give up. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but if they don't infuse the youth
Mm.
with the elders, because don't get me wrong, you don't want to get the youth that been the guy used by the other side.
Thank you, real
You know
quick.
what I'm saying?
No direction.
So you do need
Elder, yeah,
that
that
elder
the
leadership that'll
leadership,
guide you,
that
that
guidance.
can show you how you what you
And
do.
then you need the youthful energy.
Fact. So you're gonna need both foes, but what
Both
you got,
of
they don't want to roll it like that. They
no.
got it where you got my era beefing with the older ones, and then you
Right.
got the ones up under me them. So how you expect you gonna get to the youth?
That's by design too.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
by
yeah.
design. So when you looking at that, until you can clean that up,
Mm-hmm.
that because I keep telling people, the same people who funding the other side fund the opposition too.
Yes, sir. That's always been. And when you think
Yeah,
about that project, so-called 2025,
yeah,
it has always been, for thousands of years, that element, as far
yeah,
as playing both sides against the middle,
yeah.
because that's how you continue to control, Mickey.
I know facts.
That's been the formula for thousands of years, Mickey. And the sad part about us is, though, for us being so brainwashed and broken,
Mm-hmm.
and not willing to ingest in our amazing history,
Right.
not willing to invest in our community, because again, we settle for trinkets because we're not held accountable. One of my biggest issues, that we need to start holding people that look like me and you accountable, and some of the ways that you could do it in different facets when they out and about, even at a bowling alley. If someone's out at a bowling alley, we having a bowling meet, or just out there for pleasure, and a particular person come in that is diametrically opposed to your community, everybody should turn their backs on that individual or stop bowling and leaving. That person should be ostracized from our community. And I think those the level that used to happen. See, back in our culture on the continent of Africa, there were elements to deal with people that behave like our people are dealing with today, because we had an understanding about the communal concept. And so there were mechanisms in place to deal with those individuals that will uh, destroy or sell each other out. And today, we want that temporary fame,
Mm-hmm.
if it's just for 5 minutes. I was famous for 5 minutes. And I want
They
to.
love it,
They love it. I mean, when you think about the false eyelashes, when you think about
man.
the pink and the blue, yellow hair,
Man,
when you think about the way our people are dressing, I mean, some of our young women, and please don't holler at Mickey, this is me, but
yeah, that's Brother Roberts.
some things, just because you can wear it, that you shouldn't wear it, my sisters, because and I'm a guy. And some things that our young men are wearing, and all of it is a combination of not having the balance that we once had in our community. It is natural for children to buck their parents. That's natural from God. But even with that, there are boundaries in place. And then
Right.
you had the community that helped support the parents and the grandparents to make sure those boundaries were adhered to, right? Because back when you said, that whole lie that Dr. King got tricked on about hand in hand and the mountaintop. But the bottom line was we were supposed to have been from day one making sure we owned the hair care market, Mickey.
But we didn't. That's why he said he led his people into a burning house. Just go think at the Negro League. How did the Negro League not make it?
Because wasn't no support by white people.
No, they bought them out.
Well, yeah, they bought them out, but they
Yeah.
still do. The white people wouldn't attend the black people, the Negro League games.
But
That's
they was making more money than Major League. They was selling out. How you think where you think they got halftime from? That all came from the Negro League.
Yeah.
But see, they got bought out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When
you
you go back study how they bought them out. See, they didn't know how to stick together because I understood that they was looking at better. Yeah, I go with Future, now Ice Cube. You see with the big three.
Mm-hmm,
you know why they was giving them problems? Because they see that a threat to their business. He's able to give ex NBA players another shot at it. You putting them out of business. They saying, listen, man, when they done and over with. They should be sitting down. You know what I'm saying?
But even with that model, there should be enough to go around where that business shouldn't be threatened. You follow what I'm saying, Mickey?
I mean, the logical sense what you saying is real. What about the clothing line? Why did Kanye catch hell?
Again, that was another because of his position on a lot of different things.
But he wanted to own. He didn't want to fall up under Adidas no
more.
no
more. He wanted his own.
Yeah, he wanted to show. But when you get to these,
they
know his levels, then you find out like no.
Just like with Sean Combs.
Same thing. He wanted to own his own.
He wanted to own his own.
And Diageo was looking at look, we give you $60 million a year. That should be enough.
That's enough for you.
You a billionaire now.
Just like Donald, what's his name? Jerry Jones with Michael Parsons. Yeah. Boy, I gave you this. Sit down, shut up, and play. And you got a billionaire in prison.
But he broke the rules.
A billionaire in prison. Make that make sense.
Yeah.
Broke the rules and show you. And just like with Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
You are not going to dictate what we own.
But see,
that's what that was about.
But what you think about Maverick Carter? LeBron boy. Now you got to go to be an agent. Now you got to have a college degree.
Unacceptable.
But what that was like, hold up. What if another LeBron come up and he have his friend and be an agent? Now we finna down there put jobs out for our people who've been having these jobs for down there 100 years.
100 years. And never before had you had to have a college degree to be an agent.
But see, that was a way because they look at LeVar Ball.
Yeah.
LeVar Ball came in. Reason they shut that down, they didn't want him to come in to be like, hold up, yo son, you ain't got to go through us. That's what. And Deion, and plus Deion was in the league. He knew the game.
He knew the game.
We don't need no agents. They like,
come on now.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Right.
Because he know the game.
He know the game.
And that's why they did that to his son. They got to came out now that you had some GMs mad. Yeah, we was told we couldn't, but they did it anonymously.
Yeah, right.
You know, executives, we did it anonymously, and gonna say, yeah, we was told not to draft Shedeur Sanders.
That's collusion.
Yeah, but they knew it when it was Colin Kaepernick. It was collusion.
Yeah.
But see what it was when they thought that Deion. See what Deion didn't never understood, and that's why I say we as a people we get caught up. We never think it'll happen to us till it happened to us.
Yes.
See, when they was doing that to Colin Kaepernick, see what they did to him was a public lynch, and I don't care what nobody to say. And they sent this to their players.
Yes, it was.
If you get out of line, if you buck the system,
we cutting you off.
We'll do that to you.
And the same thing, and when you mention that, that's a good segue because that's the same thing that's happening now. With anything that you say that's against these people in power, they cut you off.
We gave you the money. We help you. You able to go travel. You able to get your mama a new house. Bring your family up.
Come on.
You think you going to buck the system? You going to go like everybody else. And they know Shedeur Sanders was better than a lot of them quarterbacks they brought up.
Man.
Just go look at Arch Manning. I hate it because, he young, but he got the skills where people didn't understand. Quinn Ewers wanted to come back for Texas.
Okay.
They pushed him out the way, made him go pro for Arch can start.
Wow. I see. I don't know none of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
out
But
my,
see, people didn't
okay.
understand that.
Yeah.
And now Arch kind of struggling, but he was
He
struggling.
ain't kind of struggling.
He's struggling. And you see how it is. They find the narrative. Arch need to do this and that. Why you think they waiting on the brother down in Ann Arbor to fold?
I know it.
They waiting on him. We gave him $12.5 million. You don't think that brother got pressure on him?
They gave him $12.5 million.
Hell yeah, that's what that brother got. Bryce Underwood got to come to Michigan. $12.5 million. You know you can pay the players now.
Right. How old is he?
He just turned 18.
You lying, Mickey?
No, he was 17. He probably
12.5 million.
$12.5 million to come.
Lord.
Facts, Mark Hutchinson, before we end the show. I'll put this up in here. Facts right here. But that what he said, divide and conquer was full display in third world election. Boule Negroes will not support Bev. Even though interests were the same, you can't even win when that happens. That's be so fixed. But you can't say that. When you understand you battling a machine,
yes, sir,
you cannot take no chances. You got to, I'm pull myself out, I'm gonna suspend my campaign. We got to get back. Sometime the mission got to be bigger than your goal.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of time people don't understand. They put their goal above the mission.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
when and that's what we got right now. We got a lot of people with goals, and their mission ain't to see Flint do better
at all.
You know what I'm saying? Like
if it was a mission for Flint to do better, we would have been addressed. Yeah. Water would have been addressed 2 years. You know, it just took 2 years to get that.
I'll give you an example, and I said this all the time when we heard, and I don't want to go back over the name again because I want the people to come after me. But when we was told they picked Melissa Mays as the face for the water crisis.
Yes.
When they picked her.
Yes, sir. My man.
And know what I was told? When she was a white woman, we had to put her up because we could sell it.
Yep, I remember that.
And then you get her on this. She was on Jordan Sheridan, the one that wrote the book.
Yeah.
We the Poison. What's this show? Status Quo. Status Quo. When he said, allegedly, because I didn't watch it, they put her on the show and she said they didn't know what they was doing. Oh, now y'all got y'all money, but you didn't know what you was doing. And allegedly she got her money and dipped.
Man, Mickey.
But this one, let's don't forget the unconcerned pastors. They got paid too.
You know it. Don't leave that out.
They got that.
Come on, brother.
But it was all the games that was played.
Yes, sir.
Throughout the whole, and ain't nobody saying that the residents really got played, even from the lawyers from their money. They got people thinking they finna get some real big time money when this lawsuit come in.
They gonna be brokenhearted.
If you was on Medicaid,
come on,
they taking theirs.
Come on, Mickey.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
that game, man.
So
vicious.
But it was the people that came in. That's even with what you call, what's his name? The lawyer, man. Oh my God.
Scope.
No, not him, the black dude.
Oh, you
took over. He the new Al, the new
on
Jesse.
Flushing Road.
Yeah, no, he national, the black lawyer that came
here.
Ben Crump. All he do is he go get that money, but you thought he brought wholeness back to them people?
No, sir.
He about getting money.
No, sir. No wholeness, brother.
And see, they put all the kids on Medicaid. They know what they was doing. 14 years, you trying to wait to get some money?
Unacceptable. That's just pitiful,
and
man.
Then you ain't gonna get a doctor to say that this water,
the
cancers that didn't cost.
Come on,
all
brother.
These dialysis places didn't open up here. People bodies breaking down.
You see what Barack Obama did?
What'd he do?
He didn't make it a national disaster. He came in and drunk the water on the Northwestern High School.
But
that was unacceptable, me.
But you know how many people they still praise him to this day?
Man, that was terrible. Man.
But I mean, we can knock him because he's I'm allegedly one of ours. You know what I'm saying? Is he?
That was
Did
terrible.
he really? You
no,
know what I'm saying?
He definitely.
Because if you go read some of his book, when he talked about his grandparents, he said they said some things that was damaging to his ears. I'm not saying it verbatim.
Right.
When they was calling him Barry, when they knew his name was Barack.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know
what I'm saying? Go read the book, and you want to understand what a black man. And I do want to say this before we get off.
Okay.
It is a cultural difference between blacks and whites.
It is. And even with the differences, because what makes it beautiful is like if you look at the planet we live on.
Right.
Diversity is beautiful, Mickey.
Right.
And for our listening audience.
Right.
It would be insanity if everything was the same. And that's my only pushback with white supremacy. How do you think that you should have everything and we have nothing, Mickey? That's insane, Mickey.
Nah, I agree
So
with you.
just like when you look outside and there's over 1,000 different trees in Michigan alone, man. Different species of trees in Michigan. And diversity is the hallmark or the DNA of the universe. So if you're doing anything other than diversity or engage in those kind of actions,
Right.
you are setting yourself up for death.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like I mean, just and that's what I'm saying. Like we was talking about earlier, 7 HBCUs had to be shut down.
That was
We
some
got
gang. That
two.
was
Then
games,
we
man.
got two young brothers who
Lynch.
just been lynched in Mississippi. One was in Vicksburg, and I think Cleveland. But it ain't made no news.
And why ain't nobody going to tear that up?
Ain't nobody made no news. And then even with that, when you go look at that, do people know when they was having these protests? Like, let me tell you something. A lot of them when they bring agitators there to
That's
tear
their
stuff up.
job, like they
And we
did. They
gotta
always do
understand.
for infiltrate. You know that, Mickey,
Yeah,
with the established volunteer
yeah,
agent, man. They've been doing that from day one. Even when you go back to Denmark Vassar,
yeah.
when you go back in the history of this country, they have always had those people that were created and designed to make sure they infiltrate our community. Look like me and you, spooks sit by the door.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to us, though.
Facts.
Us
Right.
not allowing it and standing 10 toes down saying, I'm going to die before I give my people up. See, that's what I'm talking about, that kind of character, man.
Oh, we ain't got none of them.
It's how do we rebirth that?
Yeah, we
What
ain't
I'm
got none of
saying,
them here. I'm just
how do
saying.
we rebirth it?
I
We got to
hope we
reborn it. We
Right.
got to recreate it
Right.
because that is our only saving grace
Right.
before we leave out. And also boycotting. But I definitely want to mention our community conversation one-on-one. Let's hear your voices. September 27th, 1 to 3 p.m., 2712 North Saginaw Street. Please come out and articulate and let's form some alliances, guys, on just what Mickey was talking about. Some simple things when we can deal with our children, which is our most precious. The children is our future. These children that have been broken and poisoned are our future. And they are designed building situations in our community to make sure these children go straight. Because if you can't read, Mickey, if you cannot read and function in this society, you're going straight to prison or you're going to be dead. That's what they got planned for our babies, man. And so again, my number is Hubert Naim Roberts, chairman of Black Lives Grassroots Flint, Michigan. My number is 810-394-4105, mentorroberts@gmail.com. One thing I want to close out with, and asking our community, ask for forgiveness. Work on loving one another, guys. Let's do a full court press on loving one another in the most amazing way possible. Wakanda out.
Peace.
Peace.